theme song. Anyway, we have Rick Santorum on the phone. Rick Santorum is in the middle of a rally. How are you, sir?
The great one.
Yeah, how about that? Isn't that funny?
I love that. Thank you for playing that theme for me. I appreciate it.
Tell me.
Because I asked you to play it last time, so go ahead.
Well, you're right. You did, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I want to know how Bella's doing, honestly. And I know you're getting this question a million times, but who cares?
Oh, I love getting this question because it makes me think about my little girl. And she is doing great, Mark. She was out, she's been out of the hospital now for about 5 days, and Karen took her out for a walk in her stroller yesterday, and she is she's off all the stuff, and she's on well on the road to recovery. And I just want to thank you. I know you expressed personal concern, and I appreciate that very, very much, and for all the prayers from you and everybody else that meant the world to us. Mark, she recovered faster on that Sunday afternoon. She recovered faster from what was one of the most severe bouts she ever had than she's ever recovered from anything else, and turned it around quicker. And look, the doctors are great, but prayer really does work, and so I just want to thank everybody.
Well, that's terrific. As you know, I've met her. She's such a beautiful little girl. Let me tell you, when she's in your arms, she kind of melts. You know,
yeah.
She loves her daddy. Well, anyway, let me listen. What states are up right now?
Missouri, Colorado, and Minnesota. So 2 caucus states, Minnesota and Colorado, and then a primary contest in Missouri.
Now, some of your polls are looking pretty decent, but, as you and I know, turnout's the issue, whether it's a caucus or primary, and the polls can be great, but people actually need to turn out and vote, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in Minnesota and Colorado, 4 years ago, the caucus has produced about, 50, 60,000 people. Compare that to Iowa, which is a smaller state, and their caucuses turn out about 125, 130,000 people. So these caucuses, turnout is everything, and hopefully, unlike the last two primaries or caucus, I should say, Nevada and Florida, where turnout was down when Romney won, hopefully turnout will be up, and that'll be a good sign for us.
I've had a couple callers today, and they've said, I really like Santorum, but I don't think he can beat Obama. I think Romney, with his money and so forth, that he can beat Obama. What do you say to that?
I'd say 2 things. Number one, Romney's not going to have a money advantage over Obama. The reason Romney's been able to do well in this primary is because being able to go on and outspend his opponents 5-1. He hasn't offered a positive message. He's just beaten up Newt Gingrich and beaten up Rick Perry and beaten up anybody else that got in his way, including me in a couple of states. But that isn't going to win the general election. Barack Obama's going to have a lot more money. He'll probably outspend Romney 2-1. And he'll have the national media on his side. So the idea that the Republican nominee of any stripe is going to have more money than Barack Obama to spend when he's looking at probably spending upwards of $1 billion is wrong. What's going to win this election is having someone who presents a contrast, someone who will make Barack Obama the issue in this election, not the Republican candidate. And on the biggest issues of the day, Obamacare, cap and trade, and the Wall Street bailouts, Mitt Romney is just dead wrong. We'll take those key issues of government control of 4 major sectors of the economy, and where we can go after Obama for taking our freedom away and for blowing a hole in the deficit and for controlling sectors of the economy. Mitt Romney cannot make that argument in any of those 3 cases because he's the exact same place Obama is. So this is a real problem for Governor Romney to win this general election if it's going to be about issues. Secondly, look at the polls. A poll just came out over the weekend that has Romney trailing Obama by 3 or 4 and has me beating Obama and Gingrich trailing by 8 or 9. So not just subjectively, if you look at the race, is Romney in trouble in the fall, but now objectively, I think more and more Americans are starting to see that we're the best choice.
Mm-hmm. So, by the way, what is your website if people want to support you?
It's ricksantorum.com, and I would love if they could come and support us. We've had a great couple of weeks, Mark. We've raised we had a money bomb last week. We raised over $1 million, and we've had strong support every single day. And we're feeling very good that this race is starting to coalesce. You saw the polls in Minnesota and Missouri in particular are looking good for us. In Colorado, we're moving up. We could have a very good day tomorrow, and this race could change.
And what do you consider the top 1, 2, or 3 issues for the country?
Well, obviously, the biggest issue is freedom, Mark. I mean, it's liberty. And we have a president of the United States who believes that the government should control rights, and that the elite in our society should manage the economy and manage your choices for your health care, for your loans, for everything else, because you're simply incapable of freedom. The world is too complex, and we need elites who know best for everybody to decide for you. This is the Obama idea, and of course that has a consequence and a ripple effect through the economy. The reasons that our job picture is looking so glum is because of the Wall Street bailouts, and because we did inject the government in. We did inject the government in now to health care, and the uncertainty of government regulation is stifling innovation and having businesses hold back and expanding and risking. So those big issues. And I always
let me ask you this related to that.
Yeah.
We now have the Secretary of HHS who's issued this regulation, or says she will in a year, compelling, for instance, Catholic-affiliated healthcare institutions to provide contraceptives or even more, frankly, against the preaching of the church. And by the way, it wouldn't just be the Catholic Church. It would be Orthodox Jews. It could be Muslims, whatever it is. The fact of the matter is, this is absolutely outrageous. There's no support for this in the First Amendment, and there's no support for this in Supreme Court precedent.
Well, you know this old line, Mark, that if the government can create rights, they can not only take it away from you, but they can tell you how to exercise the right that they've given you. And once they create a right, they've got you. They got you around the neck, and you're going to pay, and you're going to pay tribute to them to be able to get the money back that you've now given them, and they'll use it, and you can use it in the way they tell you to use it. Not only is this an outrage and an affront against the freedom of religion, but you go on and you look at what happened in the military archdiocese, where the bishop there of the chaplains wanted to send a letter out to the U.S. Army, and the Obama administration said, no, you can't, that you have to change the language of this letter to the men and women in uniform in the U.S. Army in order to have that letter sent out. So it was blocked from being sent on Sunday, and now they've agreed to edit it to be read. Now you're not only trampling on their freedom of religion, but you're not even allowing them to communicate under the First Amendment of freedom of speech as to what the government is doing to them.
I think this is very scary, Rick, this and the president unilaterally deciding the Senate's in recess and making appointments, and Obamacare in four or five different levels.
I think it's horrible that the United States Senate didn't stand up to it. I mean, I don't know where the backbone has gone in our members of Congress there in Washington. I wouldn't have stood for this. They should shut the United States Senate down and make the Obama administration and President Obama pull those nominees back. This is an abuse of power. You see it in the nomination process. You see it in when the government again gets control. How this president will just abuse constitutional rights and run over you based on what he thinks is best for you. This is what this race is about. It's not just about jobs. The job issue is going to come from the government, crushing businesses and people's rights. That's why the economy is struggling as much as it is.
Well, Rick Santorum, I appreciate you coming on. I'm so thrilled about Bella and the rest of the family. I'm sure is doing well, correct?
Everybody else is doing great, and I'm just so grateful that you gave me the opportunity to come on your show. Tomorrow's a big day for us, and people who are listening to you in Colorado and Missouri and Minnesota can come out and give us a vote tomorrow. I'm telling you, if you want a conservative, if you want this race to play out so the American public can see who is the best person to face Barack Obama, tomorrow can change this race, and I hope you go out there and caucus for us and vote for us in Missouri.
All right. Good luck. God bless you, man. Be safe out there.
Thank you very much, Mark. You too.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Take care. And if Romney or Gingrich want to call in, you're free to call in. Right, Mr. Producer? People are free to call in. In fact, if Ron Paul would call in, I'd be very excited. That would be cool, wouldn't it? But we'll take Ron Paul or Newt or Romney. It's up to you guys to initiate it. Give us a call. We're here because we try not to.